Hello, I am your friendly field reporter, Ben Nygaard, and we are here to talk about life-changing experiences, the identities developed from these events, and the effects these changes have had on the world. I am at the hive of Barry B. Benson to see what goes on behind the scenes in the life of this determined bee. Barry, your life has been a wild adventure. Tell us your story and how it has shaped your life and the lives of those around you.
Just kidding. My life was all set up to be a regular bee life. I went through school, I found that the job I picked lasted my whole life. I wanted to leave the hive and see the world, so I became a pollen jock. Unfortunately, I had an 0900, a tennis ball related incident, and was sent home to go on an adventure. In short, I saved imprisoned bees from captivity, won a short case, almost destroyed all the flowers in the world, and saved the day in the end. You could say that my experience made up a search for identity for myself. I didn't know who I was, and in the end, my questions were answered. All because I didn't like the honey making system. I ended up changing my life and the lives of bees everywhere. The new bee society was a more peaceful one, but we still worked because that's what bees do.
Now how about that? Now we know what a bee can be and what it takes to be such a marvelous bee. Take it away, Ben. Hi, I am Ben, and I am here in the sandbox with demigod Percy Jackson. Like Barry, Percy had to face the world, not knowing his identity, but through his trials and adventures he discovered who he really is. Tell me, Percy, what caused you to change your life?
Well, my life kind of sucked, and all of a sudden I was getting attacked by mystical beasts that took my mother and chased me into a demigod training camp, so I was pushed into the situation moreover.
And how did you change from there?
People were saying I was the son of Poseidon, and I was on my quest to save my mother. I began to realize that what they were saying was true. Though my adventure, my life was changed. I was a new person, much like Barry B. I changed society, bringing peace to the gods, and I made new friends by betraying old friends, and saw the world and my relationships in a whole new way, as a demigod and a hero.
Nice! Now I'm gonna head it over to Ben. How are you doing in Munchkin Land?
I wasn't always a witch, I wasn't always mad, but with that little Kansas snitch, my feelings got hurt and I turned bad. It's not easy being green, finding a place in Oz for me, but when people thought I was oh so mean, I found my identity was just like Barry B. Maybe I'm not sweet as honey or summoned from the sea, my skin may be green as money, but this life is just for me. In my case, the people around me changed me, they influenced my search for identity, and because I'm green, they call me a wicked witch, and that's how I became me.
Alright, back to Ben. Well, that was pretty neat. I'm here with another favorite character, Mr. Valjean. I brought him here to the American countryside so that he could see what life is like here. Like the Wicked Witch of the West, Valjean was a bad guy, and he wanted to change who he was. He even wrote a song about it.
Who am I?
Anyways, Mr. Valjean, tell us what caused you to change yourself and the world around you.
Well, after being sent out on parole, I was taken in by a bishop, so I stole his valuables. Unfortunately, the cops caught me and brought me back to him, but this bishop, he let me go. With all his silver dining ware and utensils, this is what changed me. But still, it wasn't a quick transition. I still liked stealing stuff, force of habit, I guess. But when this guy almost took my place in prison, I stepped up and proved that I was a changed man. My sense of identity strengthened the more I did what I felt I was meant to do. Through my experiences, I developed relationships and was able to have a family again. And I like to think that I made society better for the people.
And I'm sure you have, Mr. Valjean. Ben, doesn't his story remind you of another? Of a man who wanted to change his life? Of a man who wanted to help people? Yes, Ben, that does seem vaguely familiar. If only you had a special guest with you. One similar to Valjean? Ah, yes. Here we have a really ridiculously good-looking model, Derek Zoolander. Derek, I think you know why you're here.
Are you here to tell me what a bad Googleizer I am?
A what?
A Googleizer, one who speaks at funerals. Or did you think I was too stupid to know what a googly was?
No, Derek. I'm here to ask you about your life and how it changed.
Well, I guess it started the first time I went through the second grade. I caught my reflection in a spoon while I was eating my cereal, and I remember thinking, wow, you're ridiculously good looking. Maybe you should do that for a career.
Do what for a career?
Be professionally good looking. But after a long time, I realized that I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to life than being really, really, really ridiculously good looking. And I plan on finding what that is. I found myself asking myself, who am I? And I didn't know. I went back home to where I grew up, but my dad, he didn't want me. He said I was dead to him. After that, I was sucked into a life-changing adventure, and my life changed. Now I'm helping people at the Derek Zoolander Center for kids who can't read good and want to learn how to do good stuff too. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. These heroes and villain reflect a variety of American people. We have an average bee looking for change, an outcast who finds out he is a hero, an outcast who finds out she is not so much of a hero, a bad guy who wants to start over, and a really, really ridiculously good-looking guy who wants to help people. These folks did a great job showing us what caused them to change, to find their identities, and to change the world. Give it up for these really, really ridiculously awesome people.